Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on the Chelsea Smile. This one is pretty gory, so viewer discretion is most certainly advised. Let me begin by defining the Chelsea Smile. It is a torture term, also known as the Glasgow Smile or the Chelsea Grin, in which a victim's mouth is cut and then extreme pain is inflicted, causing the victim to scream, in turn ripping the corners of the victim's mouth and forming a quote-unquote smile. I'm going to be using 3rd degree silicone modeling compound for this whole tutorial. If you can't get a hold of it, I would suggest using gelatin or spirit gum and scar wax. I do have a gelatin recipe that I'll link below, but otherwise, if you can get 3rd degree, it looks hyper realistic, and I really suggest trying it out if you have access. Places do ship it internationally. Alcone ships it internationally. That's where I got mine from, so if you really want it, you need to try it because it's really awesome. To start off, you want to prep the skin with a little alcohol. This step removes any oils and will help the products adhere better. With a metal spatula, I applied the 3rd degree to the sides of my mouth. I worked in small sections because this product does that very quickly. So I added the top sections first and just created jagged rips extending outwards from the corners of my mouth. And to smooth out any of the ridges, I used a cheap paintbrush. I found this technique works really well, especially when I first started using 3rd degree. I had trouble with it looking bumpy, but using the paintbrush is going to help you smooth out any of those bumps and make it create a smoother transition from 3rd degree to the skin. I then used the spatula and a brush again to shape the edges of the wound, and I really wanted that ripped, jagged kind of texture. To further blend the product into my skin, I used a sponge to stipple on texture. This step also helps cut the shine of 3rd degree and makes it appear more skin-like. I did a few layers of this to build up the edges and make it appear more ripped. Next, I applied another line of 3rd degree parallel to the upper line. Again, using the spatula, paintbrush, and sponge, I created the bottom half of the smile. And any excess 3rd degree that gets on the skin can be wiped away with a makeup wipe. I did use a flesh colored version of the 3rd degree for this, but I decided to powder it to help it blend into my skin better. Most of this area will be painted, but the powder also helps take away the shine. To color the smile, I went with a Real Color Wheel palette, the Ben Nye Master Bruise Wheel, and 99% alcohol, and I started off with a base of red, making sure to apply it to every crevice of the wound. Next, I mixed the red and black to get a nice burgundy shade, and I applied this color mainly to the corners of my mouth and to the edges of the smile. I also used the deep red shade in the Ben Nye wheel. This color is really pigmented, and it really helped to add that added depth I was looking for. For the edges of the wound, I used alcohol-soaked Q-tips and the red paint again, and I lightly dabbed the Q-tips along the edges to get that irritated skin look. Again with the Q-tip, I added fake blood. I focused it on the corners of my mouth and dabbed it around the skin. I added a few drips coming from the wound as well to simulate blood gushing from your smile. I do have a video on fake blood that I'll link in the info box below if you'd like to see it. Another technique I used was to sponge some of the blood around the wound, spray it with water, and use a makeup wipe to dab it out. This helps it from looking too patchy. For even more grossness, add blood to your mouth and all over your teeth. Ugh, it's gross. That's it for the Chelsea Smile. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and please remember to give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you're enjoying this FX series, and if you have any requests, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Like my Facebook page and follow me on Twitter. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.